Alright, so here's some of the particulars of Chaostle, if you will. Like any good fantasy game, it has different characters that you can play. And look, there's it's really thick cardboard for each one. This is very nice. And the reason why is they have these little peg holes here, and so you have to put the peg holes. But you can see there's lots of different guys. Here's a dragon. Here's a dragon slayer, if you will, and here's some wizard guy, or, you know, and here's like some crusader, you know, and so, like, you know, they just have all these different guys. You know, here's your standard dwarf guy. But anyway, so you'll divvy these up one of many different ways. You could shuffle them and hand them out randomly to the players. You can have people just draft them, if you will. The rules do state that you should, you know, roll the dice and have first person look through them all, pick one, then go to the next person and pick one, and so on and so forth. And that way, you know, people can try to, you know, either come up with an idea for what they want, or, you know, a strategy, if you will, as far as the method that they're going to go. You know, for the most part, I mean, these are fairly interchangeable. I mean, they have different abilities and powers and stuff. Let's just grab one here at random, and we'll take a look here. All right, let's just take this Dragon Slayer dude. All right, so you start off, and you get a bunch of these little golden pegs that you'll use to mark certain things on the board. And for starters, you see there's every single one of these scores has a number and then another number over to the other side. Throughout the game, if you win a fight, that's like considered gaining experience, basically, and so you're able to improve something. Sometimes like certain random things will happen and you'll improve things as well. So if you ever get to be able to move to the other side, you just place, like, say like his health here is like 31 and 36. So if, you know, that ever increased, you just put this peg in that spot, meaning that he's increased to 36th health or whatever. And to mark health, you just, here's the tens digit for health, and here's the ones digit for health. And so, and you notice, so then that's 36, and you can just lower that, if you will. The only other thing that's really important, I mean, obviously there's the different attacks and stuff, and there's different abilities, and each player is going to have these different abilities. The armor protection obviously is like, you know, you'll reduce damage that you take, and like each one of these abilities is explained further in the rulebook, and I'm not going to go through every single ability. You're just going to have to look at that once you see the game. But the starting position over here, because of the fact that if you ever get knocked out, the character doesn't die forever. He's like just knocked unconscious or just defeated in battle, and you remove him from the board. In order to get him back on the board, you have to roll a 1 or a 2, and then you get to place them back. But depending on how far they've gotten, you basically have a saved location. So if you've advanced the character to like the 3rd quadrant from their starting location, they'll start on the 3rd position instead of the 4th position. So it isn't just sending you all the way back to the very beginning, which, you know, is actually really nice, because the game would take forever if you just knock people all the way back. So as you increase, you'll do that. And then, like I said, as you play the game, you'll pick certain abilities and you'll increase them, and you'll just place these little pegs, if you will. It's important to note that in combat, you do have range, and range is very important, because that's how many squares away you can actually hit somebody if you're fighting them. Obviously, you know, 1, 0, and 0 only occurs if you're actually sharing the same space with the person. So, you know, 1 is right next to you, 2 is, you know, 2 spaces, and so on and so forth. The only way you actually miss in combat is if you roll an attack that is out of range, you know, for the person that you're attacking. Otherwise, you automatically hit and you do the damage that's located in this row here. So it's very important that if you ever do have you know, low range things, you should be, you know, thinking about increasing those, so you don't have to worry about missing when you attack. So, all right, well, that's the character boards, and you know, I like these. I mean, I think they're like I said, they're super thick, you know, and they're very sturdy, and you know, the art's nice, and you know, it's just, you can actually draft, you know, because there's levels here and what side they're on good, and so on and so forth. And so, you know, I for the most part, I really like how these work, and I really like these pegs. You know, how many times have I knocked over my health and talisman and stuff like that, and I have to pick up all those cones again. So, all right. But now, let me just show you how movement works and how combat works and so on and so forth on a smaller portion of that board I can focus in.